Hi, K-pop lovers. Welcome back to our channel. Before we get into today's video, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now, turn on the notification bell, and don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Trust me, you're going to want your friends to see this one too. Now let's get into it. Okay, so imagine this. You are one of the most respected dancers in all of K-pop. Your technique is legendary, your stage presence is unmatched, and millions of fans across the globe consider you to be in a class of your own. And then one day, someone asks you, on camera, in front of the entire internet, who are the top male dancers in K-pop? And instead of just hyping yourself up, you pause, you smile, and you genuinely, publicly praise someone else. That is exactly what happened when KAI from EXO talked about BTS's JIMIN. And what he said? It stopped the internet cold. It all started on November 30th, 2020, when YouTube channel One The K Originals released a video of KAI where he was scrolling through online posts about himself. He came across a community post titled, "Who I think the top 3 male K-pop dancers are," and the list read, Taemin, JIMIN, and KAI. SBS star. Now here's where it gets interesting. A lot of artists in that position might laugh it off, skip past it, or make it all about themselves. But not KAI. He stopped. He read the names carefully. And then he said something that sent the entire K-pop internet into a frenzy. KAI said out loud, calm and genuine, yes. Taemin is a great dancer. JIMIN's dance is incredible as well. And then, when it came to his own name on the list, he laughed and said, KAI. He is just. Wow. SBS star. Do you understand what just happened there? KAI, a man widely considered to be one of the most technically gifted and artistically complete dancers in K-pop history, looked at that list and, without hesitation, confirmed that JIMIN belongs right there next to him at the very top. Not out of obligation. Not because a reporter asked him a leading question. He said it naturally, effortlessly, like it was simply a fact that everyone should already know. Now stay with me here, because this is where the story gets even deeper. You might be thinking, okay, they're both famous, maybe KAI was just being polite. But here's what you might not know. KAI and JIMIN are not just acquaintances. Their friendship actually goes back years, introduced through their mutual friend Ha Sungwoon. The two became part of a close-knit group of dancer friends sometimes called the Padding Friends, or Friendship Parka, Squad, a crew that includes Shiny's Taemin, Hotshot's Timoteo, and Ha Sungwoon himself alongside JIMIN and KAI. Korea-boo, these are not celebrity friendships built for publicity. This is a genuine circle of artists who respect each other's craft deeply, who hang out off camera, and who push each other creatively. So when KAI says JIMIN is incredible, he's not saying it as a stranger looking from the outside in. He's saying it as someone who has seen JIMIN up close, seen how he moves, how he practices, how he performs. That changes everything about how much that praise means. And let's be real for a second, because this is important. In 2018, K-pop media outlet M-Wave ran a poll titled, Best Dancer, between EXO's KAI and BTS's JIMIN. Over 1.2 million fans voted, and the results were incredibly close. KAI received 606,538 votes while JIMIN received 600,801. Korea-boo, think about that. More than 1 million fans were asked to choose between two dancers, and they couldn't split them apart by even a full percentage point. These are the two names that keep coming up again and again whenever anyone in K-pop, fan, journalist, or fellow idol, tries to define what elite male dancing actually looks like. And KAI himself, the winner of that poll, turned around and called JIMIN incredible. That level of mutual respect between two legends is rare. It's the kind of moment that makes you stop and realize that this rivalry narrative people love to create? It was never real. These two men see each other as peers, as friends, as fellow artists chasing the same standard of excellence. Now let's talk about why KAI said what he said. Because when you actually watch Jimin perform, the answer becomes obvious. Jimin is not just a dancer who executes choreography. He is someone who transforms performance into emotion. Every single movement Jimin makes on stage tells a story. His body control is extraordinary, the way he isolates every muscle, the way his transitions flow like water, the way he can snap from sharp and precise to fluid and ethereal within the same 8 count. This is the kind of technical artistry that only comes from years of relentless, obsessive training. Jimin trained for years at Big Hit Entertainment before BTS even debuted, putting in hours that most people can't imagine. And it shows. Every single time he steps on a stage. But here's the part that separates Jimin from just being a great dancer, and this is what KAI, as a fellow artist, would understand better than anyone. Jimin makes you feel something. You can watch someone with perfect technique and feel nothing. But when Jimin performs, whether it's a heartbreaking slow piece or an explosive group number, there is an emotional current running through every move he makes. That is not something you can teach. That is artistry. And KAI, who himself is known for that exact same quality, that ability to make dance feel like storytelling, recognized it immediately in his friend. And if all of that isn't enough for you, let's talk about what Jimin has accomplished as a solo artist, because the receipts don't lie. In April 2023, Jimin made history when his debut solo single, Like Crazy, from his album Face, debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making him the first South Korean solo artist in the chart's entire history to achieve that feat. Billboard, to put that in perspective, even PSY, whose Gangnam Style was a global cultural phenomenon in 2012, only reached #2. Jimin did what no Korean solo artist had ever done before in the chart's 65-year history at the time. Wikipedia, that is not luck. That is not just fan support. That is an artist whose talent, hard work, and connection with audiences around the world has reached a level that very few people ever achieve. And then, just when the world thought it had seen everything Jimin had to give, he went and served his country. Jimin enlisted in the South Korean military in late 2023, serving with the Army's 5th Infantry Division Artillery Brigade alongside fellow BTS member Jungkook. And even while he was in service, his legacy continued to grow. His record as the first Korean solo artist to top the Billboard Hot 100 remained unbroken. Billboard. On June 11, 2025, Jimin was officially discharged from mandatory military service, appearing before fans and media with a bright smile, saluting the crowd, and declaring his return. He said, "From COVID-19 to the military, it has been quite a long journey. Thank you so much for waiting. Now that I have been discharged, we will get back to painting the picture we have been envisioning." Kpop. That quote alone is everything. An artist who went through a global pandemic, built a solo career that shattered records, served his country with honor, and came back ready to create again. Jimin is not just incredible as a dancer. He is incredible as a human being. Now, here's the thing I want you to really sit with before this video ends. In K-pop, in any entertainment industry, really, it is rare for an artist at the very top of their game to look at another artist and say, without any hesitation or agenda, they are incredible. There is too much competition, too much pride, too much fandom tribalism that makes people feel like acknowledging someone else means taking something away from themselves. But KAI didn't do that. When pushed by a production staff member to choose who was the best dancer among the three, KAI simply said, "We're all good." K-Star Live. He refused to pit himself against his friends. He refused to play the comparison game. Instead, he stood in his own greatness and celebrated theirs at the same time. That is the mark of a true artist. And the fact that his genuine praise of Jimin lines up perfectly with every performance, every record, and every moment that Jimin has delivered throughout his career? That's not coincidence. That's just the truth. KAI said Jimin is incredible because Jimin is incredible. A history-making solo artist. A generational talent. A performer who makes every single audience member feel like the performance was made just for them. And now, with his military service completed and the full reunion of BTS on the horizon, the world is about to be reminded all over again exactly why one of K-pop's greatest dancers stopped, looked at a list, and said Jimin's name with nothing but respect. If this video gave you chills, if you learned something new, or if you're just proud of how far Jimin has come, let me know in the comments below. Drop a purple heart if you're ARMY, and drop a fire if you're an EXO who already knew KAI was right. Don't forget to hit the like button, it really helps this channel grow, and subscribe if you haven't already. We cover deep dives like this all the time. Share this video with your fellow fans, because this is the kind of content that deserves to be seen. I'll see you in the next one. Purple Heart Annyeong.